What's good, everybody? It's Jay back with Real Talks Podcast, and today I have the honor of introducing a good friend and amazing entrepreneur that is disrupting the social media world, the marketing world, and I'd love to share his story and ask him some questions that could inspire us, motivate us, and at the same time get some good values from entrepreneurship and as well as marketing because that's his forte. Nonetheless, I'd like to introduce you to Zach. He is the founder and the CEO of SalesRobot.io. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's going on, Jay? Appreciate you having me today.
Yes, sir. And thanks for taking the time to hop onto this, man. I know I asked you last minute, but definitely with your flexibility, I appreciate that. And I introduced you as a friend, and I know we just recently met, but I definitely understand that, moving forward, as fellow entrepreneurs and business owners, I'm sure we're going to be able to do business together and maintain this communication and in our network. So I appreciate it. But for our viewers who does not know you, Zach, would you please kindly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Jay. And yeah, like you mentioned, we did just meet, but I feel like we've known each other for a minute now. So, yeah, my background, I've been doing marketing ads for the past 6 years. Started a marketing agency when I was a student athlete at UC Berkeley,
Nice.
and as opposed to going the traditional route of going directly into the corporate world, instead, I started at ground zero. Um, Going into 100% marketing and then working with clients to generate customers through ads, funnels, and now with AI and Sales Robot.
That's amazing, man. And you mentioned UC Berkeley, right? And
Correct. Yep.
so for you guys who's on the other side of the country, and if you're not familiar, UC Berkeley is one of the prestigious school that we have here in California. So that's pretty awesome, man. But you went to college and then but went through the entrepreneurial route. But could you let us know like what really made you think to go that route instead of just traditionally like most people would do is after they graduate college go to corporate America and get like a starter job, right? Like what made you think into entrepreneurship right off the bat?
Yeah. So I started learning, about entrepreneurship in 2016. So I was like a sophomore in college and I really didn't really know what I specifically wanted to do, but I knew I wanted it in technology. And because I've always loved, how things work.
Yeah.
I got four screens here and really I just like love like all the things that technology can do. And marketing was a good bridge between like, the ability to make money as well as the technology aspect inside of it. And so that was my sophomore year. And so really what happened was in college, I didn't want to like necessarily have a 9 to 5 and be stuck in that position. And entrepreneurship essentially gave me that ability. And so when I was growing up, my mom like kind of managed property. And so she was her own entrepreneur. So I saw the ability of like the freedom and everything that she had. And so she raised me and my brother from basically, 2 years of age all the way to graduating college. And so just seeing her freedom and ability to like, you know, go watch games, go to school, pick us up, drop us off, was, I guess, the encouragement for me to just go and pursue exactly what I wanted to do. So that's really like the background about it. And then I just went all in. It was like, my junior year, I started an S Corp. So like
Wow.
had no clients or anything.
Yeah.
And here I was like playing for, the number one team in the nation, which is for rugby
Yeah.
specifically.
Nice.
Uh, UC Berkeley is really good. And so I was essentially juggling, playing sports every
Right.
single day except for Monday, going to school, and then, trying to go around uh, getting clients in the local area and stuff like that.
Man, that's a tough schedule. Like being able to like go to college full time and have a athletic background So I know you spend a lot of time too, like practicing and training and all that stuff, and then still have the time to do this. A lot of people, are scared to go through the entrepreneurship route because it's not, not guaranteed that you'll be successful. But for you, you obviously like had that in your blood, and as you mentioned, like seeing your mom have that flexibility and the time freedom to be able to spend time with you guys, pick you up, and all those things. And I definitely see that now as an entrepreneur. I have the flexibility to set my own appointments, my time with other people, and still have the opportunity to be there as a father, to my kids and attend their games and run, errands, things like that. But would you say like being an entrepreneur, there's like a stigma or some kind of myth that you don't really work, or have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah, I mean, I would say your success is guaranteed if you don't give up,
Oh,
right?
I love that. Yeah.
Because when I was first starting, I was like, I mean, I got out of UC Berkeley, which is number one school in the world for public, starting on the starting on the team as well. And I went and was at like $500 a month while paying my virtual assistant. So I was basically, making nothing, working
Right.
from home. And I was like, there was plenty of times where I was like, I just want to go back and like I could just start making 10K a month, 100K a year annually as a UC Berkeley grad. But I was like, I never gave up. I never actually even went into a job or,
At all.
anything like that. I just 100% was like, I'm going to make it happen, or I'm going to try until I make it happen.
Did you?
So
But you graduated first, right? And then
I did graduate. Yeah. I did 4.5 years at UC Berkeley and then graduated with actually better grades at Cal than I did at high school, which is pretty cool.
yeah, it's funny you mentioned the same here. Like in high school, I didn't really I didn't really push myself. I just barely had enough GPA. It kind of embarrassing. It's like I remember I think it's like 2.6 or something like
Yeah.
that. Just enough to like get by and be able to play sports. I love playing, American football and basketball, and that was really it. And then for me, I served in the Navy right after high school, just because I didn't have
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of money. Grew up in a single family,
Hmm.
with my mom and then my sister as well. So I figure I was just gonna go into the Navy first, which because I love to travel and I do love the ocean, and so I was gonna do 4 years and then leave and get out. But come to find out, I found my initial calling is to serve, and 21 years later, bro,
Yeah.
I was still in. So I ended up retiring in at the end of 2021, and that's when I launched my first business, and which is my recruiting agency, which is right now is doing really really well. I'm a little bit more hands off now, but initially I was working. I was a solopreneur. I was doing everything else, as I told you on our previous conversation. I was multi-hatted, and I'm sure you're doing the same thing. Um, but yeah, certainly, like initially, like you don't work. I mean, you're gonna have to work a lot more often, which is perfectly fine, right? To get your business up and running properly and optimized, and as you scale, I feel like as you scale, the less time that you spend within the business. I don't know if you see that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, as you start to scale, um, you just have the ability to put more resources behind it.
Right.
Whereas opposed to starting out, once you get past the 5K, 10K, 20K a
Yeah.
month, um, you just have money to be able to pour back into the business, which, really at the end of the day gives you leverage to be able to, not work as much. But at the same time, it's like, I still work. I'm like 6 years in and I still am working 70, 80 hours a week. So it's like whatever you put in is what you get out.
Right, 100%. And the thing is, I don't even look at it as work. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like for you to be able to like keep on going with those like that many hours, I feel like it's more of like doing something that you love and you're passionate about it. So for me, like doing my work, we do call it work, right? Being a founder or
Yeah.
what, doing, working inside the business. I didn't feel like it's really work because I enjoy it and I have passion in it. And I'm sure you're the same exact way, but which is kind of leading to my next, my follow up question. And, with salesrobot.io, how did you come about like starting and launching this? And by the way, could you please explain what salesrobot.io is and what it does for other entrepreneurs and business owners?
Yeah. Yeah. So salesrobot.io is essentially taking your leads that you generate and leveraging AI to be able to convert them into either appointments or into sales
Yeah,
without your team, essentially involved in it at all. So how it came about was essentially like we run ads. So we have high performance ads
yeah,
agency. And one of the biggest problems is, we can generate leads all day, but then the business owner or the team doesn't have the time in the day to be able to follow up
yeah,
within 5 minutes,
right,
right? Because time is of the essence when a new lead comes in. Um, and then on top of that, follow up with them. So some of the business stats is essentially, I believe it's 78% of customers will go with the business that reaches out first.
yeah,
So you don't have to be the best, you just have to reach out first, right?
right,
Um, so it solves that problem, which allows you to reach out right away, get back to the customer. Then on top of that, you have 80% of sales happen between the fifth and 12th touch, right?
right.
So the caveat though is 94% of sales reps don't follow up after the fourth touch.
Mm,
So they try 4 times and then they go on to the next lead and then they're busy with everything else, right? And
right,
because we're humans, we always have errors and we fall off. And
right.
so what Sales Robot allows you to do is essentially solve all three of those problems
Amazing.
in your business
Yeah,
at scale, right?
that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So that's exactly like, the problem and solution of Sales Robot itself.
I mean, how long have you been in operation since since you launched it?
Yeah, so it's been probably about May of this year. So the capabilities have never been, you've never been able to do that prior to ChatGPT and everything.
Right.
Um, and then with that, you had to get like API access to ChatGPT to be able to use it. And then so I spent like at least 100 plus hours like figuring out how to connect it to like the softwares, the right prompts, because you have to actually instruct the AI
Right.
to one, be an assistant to your business, and then two, like ask a sequential questions before booking the appointment or making the sale.
Yeah.
And so that was like, essentially what we did to build it. And then it was deploying it, since March of this year. So it's
That's
pretty recent.
yeah. I mean, but you know what? I definitely see this as a product and the service that you offer that every single entrepreneur and business owner needs in their business. All right, it's all about generating leads and um, doing the follow ups, engaging with the leads. As you mentioned, like you got to be like fast when you get a lead. We had a saying called "first to contact, first to contract." So
There you go. Yep.
it definitely is very valuable to have that. And a lot of us probably use VAs, which I do as well, and not most of the time, like if the lead comes late at night, you're not going to get a follow up until the next day, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
So this
Correct.
essentially is able to the AI that you guys implemented into the software or whatnot can automate like immediately like reach out to the lead, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like a new lead comes in and you don't want to do it instantaneous
Yeah.
because then it looks automated.
Ah, got you.
So you want to have like a, 2 to 3 minute delay on that initial contact.
Right.
And then from there, when it's actually conversing with the lead, we have like a 35-second delay inside of there. So that way it's also not instantaneous, because like you want to have a like kind of comparison between it is a human, but it's also a robot at the same time.
Yeah.
So, that's just what we found. Because after a while, like if somebody's messaging a robot, they'll be like, "Is this a robot?" Because we've been around ManyChat and all those other platforms. But I would say 90%, 95% of people like don't even realize that they're talking to a robot,
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah.
unless they directly ask, and that's it.
Right. And you showed me behind the scenes initially, when I was engaging, and I didn't know it was AI, right? But that was pretty amazing, man. Well, I definitely see this as being really, really big. And I know you just launched and started a few months ago, but um, do you have like a team? Like, were you the only one who actually put this together, or did you have other developers that helped you out?
Yeah, so we have a team of 7 on the agency side. So essentially, it's just leveraging everybody's talents and skills to be able
Yeah.
to deploy. Yeah, we set up the ads, the landing page, the funnel, upsells, downsells, all of that just internally. But that's because we know how to do it all. So
Right.
it's it makes it very easy for us to be a lot more nimble on the front end, and then be able to essentially profit on the back end as well.
Man, that's pretty cool. And I mean, I see a vision like where this is going to be a lot of entrepreneurs tool in their back pocket. But what is your vision with a company like in a year from now, or 5 years from now, whether it's revenue generated or amount of employees that you're going to need? But could you share that, what your thoughts are, your vision?
Yeah, so Goldman Sachs came out with a article
Uh-huh.
specifically on AI taking over like 300 million jobs by, I want to say, 2024, 2025,
Right.
something along there. And so what we're trying to develop is essentially the sales robot to be able to handle like the text part, the voice part, and then also leveraging AI for like the content creation. So creating like a suite of essentially like sales robot AI, and then we have like content creation AI, to where it it's like one place for the business owner to be able to leverage all of this suite of tools to essentially not necessarily replace their entire team, but like
Right.
80% with like an operator to be able to manage it right
Right.
on their
Yeah.
behalf.
So you don't necessarily need a lot of employees, right? And that's crazy because with this, I'm excuse me, but pretty stoked because I just started learning about paid advertising, as I told you,
Yep.
and now I'm going to be implementing sales robot into what we're doing. So I'm going to actually be reaching out to my marketing team and let them know to incorporate this, and I'm pretty stoked like how it's gonna tremendously help me and save me a lot of time with engaging with the lead. So, my question also is: so does it only currently work with when you do ads, or could it be at a platform where people can install it? Let's say a marketplace, right? Could sales
Yeah.
robot be available to that, or
Yeah. So just to preference this, like for any business owner who's listening, like the faster that you implement AI
yeah,
into your business as like almost like a service offering,
right,
like you will get like 10 times more leads and opportunities for your business
yeah,
just by leveraging like the trendy keyword right now, which is AI,
yeah,
right? So for example, you, Jay, like if you were able to put like, AI recruiting services,
yeah.
something along those lines where we leverage AI to, find, vet, and then place,
Oh my God,
um, like, right. And then you need to share the process of exactly how you're leveraging AI in that process.
right,
But what it does is it makes you different from everybody else, right?
right,
So when we originally launched this, like all of our ad spend was essentially paid for, and we're around 3 to 5 ROAS. So every single dollar that we're spending is essentially, making its money back and more.
Right.
And then everybody who comes in for the sales robot is also technically a prospect for the agency itself. So it's almost like the value ladder, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense.
Um, yeah. So like that's like if you're able to like learn sales robot or like a part of it to where you're able to implement it into your business and have a differentiator between you and other people and be on the cutting edge, it just makes it to where you'll get like 10 times more leads and opportunities just for that reason itself.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to like learn the process of sales robot, because it's not necessarily a software, it's more of like a course that
Got
teaches you how to leverage AI for your business, then you could technically take that and use it for, like, for example, like LinkedIn side, like doing outbound emails, outbound LinkedIn automation. Then you can leverage that in that place specifically for your business.
And you're working on that now, right? You guys are.
Yeah, so we're working on the LinkedIn outbound. So essentially, for any B2B people, you could do automated outbound
Yeah.
on the specific contacts that you want to target.
Right.
And then anybody who responds, the AI would be able to take over on your behalf, set appointments, and then convert them into even sales at the end of the day if it's a low ticket, so $97 or less.
Gotcha, man. And I'm actually looking forward to that because my VA is living inside LinkedIn, doing organic outreach as her main responsibility. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And currently, I mean, I feel like this information that what you guys are bringing into the table um, is essentially very cheap. What you're asking for it, I feel like
Yeah, it's,
I personally feel like you even gave me like your amazing birthday deal, right? You just had your birthday not too long ago,
yeah,
right?
that's
Right?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And but even with the current cost right now, I feel like it's still a huge bargain. Are you planning on keeping the price about the same, or are you going to be increasing it at some point?
Yeah. So right now the price is low, and the reason for that is more to generate customers and leads on the front end,
Mhm.
as opposed to it driving 100% revenue, right?
Yeah.
Now, although it is profitable with all the upsells and everything on the back end,
Right.
the goal is to get more people ascended into the marketing agency, and how we're leveraging AI ads and automation to
Yeah.
get customers and clients for them. So that's like the end goal. But essentially for the front end, that will be staying the price for the sales robot, but we are building out like an entire AI course that will, have the sales robot, have the caller, have the LinkedIn automation stuff, and then also teach you how to, essentially convert yourself into an AI to
Yeah.
create content. So it uses your voice. So you clone your voice and then
Right.
you clone your body. So
Scary. Isn't that like uh, a lot of people are scared of AI has is evolving so quickly, but I feel
yeah,
like as long as you adapt and learn how it could be advantageous for you inside your business, I feel like we're heading in the right direction because it definitely helps out with time management and the cost as a business owner or entrepreneur. So it definitely helps. You know,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely scary, and it will be even more scary if you don't learn it
right?
and learn how to be the operator of it. Because there's always going to have to be an operator of the AI.
Correct.
Um, but if you don't know it entirely, then that's where you're going to really be at a disadvantage because it's like, all right, here's all this stuff that's happening. I have no idea what's going on. So therefore, you're not as valuable as opposed to somebody who, goes through, learns it, evolves, and then makes money, profit from it. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
do you have what kind of challenges have you seen so far in the last, I'd say, in the last year inside your business?
So like issues or things.
Yeah, just
Um,
in general, with your marketing agency and all that.
yeah, I would say, I mean, in the last year, like, I mean, one of the biggest things was having leads come through, but nobody being able to manage them.
Yeah,
And so the sales robot was definitely helpful in that.
nice.
Um, I mean, on my end, it's just more like so many opportunities. So it's like we have like a wait list now because we have too many people to work with.
Yeah,
So like we're kind of blessed in that sense, but it's also like operationally just making sure everything's sound to be able to produce the same quality across the board.
that's a good
Um,
problem to have for sure.
yeah, yeah. So that's really where I've been in terms of working with higher end clients, but
Yeah,
then also being able to deliver.
right.
Um, so that's been my spot. I mean, luckily I did hire a couple new people who have been A players essentially so far. So I'm excited to see that.
That's good, man. That's one of the things that we teach in inside Card Adventures and how to properly find the best suitable candidate and
Yeah.
person to staff for the roles that you're trying to fill. And having an A type candidate is is amazing. But a lot of people don't know how to properly source and recruit those kind of talent. And so um, that's my forte, and that's why like when you mentioned the A type, I'm like that's awesome. Like that's a win.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, you've been doing this for many years, and obviously you know how valuable like what you bring to the table. The marketing side, and having a team like yours help us out. And as I mentioned to you, like for my first year and a half, I never touched paid advertising. Everything that we
Yeah.
did was organic, and that was only because that was what I knew, and I was afraid that doing paid ads, like I was just gonna waste my money. But like
Yeah.
in your own like in your own view, like what's the difference between like or organic outreach or paid ads in bringing business to your bringing business to your company or whatnot?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you start out, you always have to do organic because you don't have the funds or anything to be able to put into paid ads,
Right.
and it's a lot more riskier.
Yeah.
Um, and so when you do organic, like you can reach out to, 100, 200, 1,000 people,
Yeah.
and it's just based off of your time.
Right.
So when you put more time into that, you can get more output and inflow. Just the issue is it's not really scalable. Um, and so when you start to run paid ads, the biggest like influencer to that is going to be the offer.
Okay.
Um, it's going to be the offer, creative, and then sometimes the ad copy as well. But those two things, like if you can get a great offer and then a great creative that goes with that, so like for you specifically, right? It would be I should probably give more examples, but um, like a guarantee with like a like money back guarantee type something. So it's like we find place and vet somebody for you, or we give you $1,000 back,
Wow.
or we do it until we perform something along those lines, where it's like instantly getting to the point of exactly what they want, and then from there, you know, you're able to make the one-time offer, make the sale, and then deliver and over deliver, hopefully, right?
Right. Right.
um, and so that's like one example. Another example is like, I mean, a chiropractor, for example,
Mm-hmm.
like they could run an offer like, oh, come in for a back adjustment for $100,
Right.
right? Or they could do a free one-time adjustment. And when you do free, you're going to get 10 times more leads, 10 times more opportunities. Sure, you're going to have to deliver up front, but we all know that with chiropractor, you have to do it more than once. Otherwise, you go back to the same shape, right?
Right. Right.
So that's where it's like, you're giving something up front that's very valuable based off of your time. But then at the same time, you have a lot more opportunities. And then from there, you're able to make the one-time offer, make the sale, and then deliver and over deliver, hopefully, right?
Right. Right.
You have a lot more opportunities, And now, once you have the lead, what a lot of people do is they don't follow up, right? So
True.
now it's like leveraging the AI and everything to be able to help you convert these people into booked appointments as well as into long-term customers as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really,
Yeah.
really cool. That's a good advice, man. And so in regards to on the business side of things, how like I know you've been helping a lot of other, business owners and entrepreneurs, but what I don't know if you could even disclose this, but what's the most that you've seen? And you don't have to name a company or a person that you've helped, as far as like their revenue, since like from, let's say, the start of working with you inside your marketing agency to afterwards. What's the biggest that you've seen so far?
Yeah. So the biggest was I mean, I've been working with them for a long time, but essentially we went from absolutely nothing, no offer, anything, to developing the course, to marketing the course. And we went from it took us about a year and a half to crack it, but we went from zero to $2 million
Wow,
annually,
that's
within that time frame. And that was, um, there's a lot of trial and error just because it was a brand new product, brand new offer, everything like that. But um, the method is the same. Essentially, you build the course, you have your offer, you run ads, you generate customers, and then from there, um, you just remarket to all of them, right?
gotcha.
So emails, text messages, retargeting ads, all of those.
No, that's cool. Are paid ads more beneficial for a service type business, vice product business per se? Like, let's say you sell supplements or whatnot. Um, like, does that
No,
price?
like e-commerce businesses, yeah, you could definitely make a killing off of that. I mean, we have one skincare
Yeah.
um, like provider that we work with,
Okay.
and they're the number one skincare for Miss Universe.
Wow.
Um, and so, yeah, that the ads that we run for them are always at least 10 to 14 ROAS,
Wow.
just because of their brand and everything that they've built up until the time that we start running ads.
Gotcha. Well, what if it's not, it's a small, unknown, like, product business? Like, would you see the same exact or similar um, ROAS, or not necessarily
No, so
that?
yeah, if you're starting out, your 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 results are not going to be great
Yeah.
unless you have a great offer.
Right.
Um, so there's a few ways to do the marketing, right? If your product is like brand new, there's no other competitors, which is very unique, right? Then you could potentially have those types of returns from day one. If it's like another skincare or another like different type of brand, you need to figure out how you have a unique like differentiator between you and the other brands, and then that's what you're marketing. And you can use things like it's called Billio. You can get user generated content. So you send your product to them, for only $59. They'll do a test or a video specifically reviewing that.
Right.
And then that's what you run for the ads. Your results are going to vary depending on the product quality, everything like that. But eventually you will be profitable from doing those marketing tactics
Yeah.
and continuing with it. Um, like marketing, typically it takes like 90, 120 days to be able to get, you know, rolling, just depending on how much credibility you already have, how long you've been in the game, and then also like the quality of the product and brand and everything. There's a lot of different factors, so it's not like, oh yeah, everybody gets a, 4 ROAS, etc. Right? Um, so just to be clear on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it, man. Well, that's definitely good to know, because I do have some friends who are both. They sell services, obviously, and then obviously there's some that are doing product based type. And yeah, I'm not quite sure if I know some of them run ads, and some of them are spending a lot of money on the
Yeah.
ads. Like, what would your advice be for somebody, let's say, who's like a small business owner like myself, who have not done any kind of ads? Like, I personally just started it, so I'm learning still. But what would you advise somebody that has never done it before in their business?
Yeah, I would say get educated first. So take some type of course or something like that, to where you can learn the process. And honestly, you could look it up on YouTube,
Hmm.
but you just want to make sure that it's up to date. Um, but essentially, just start with like $30 a day. Um, it's
That's
not that much. And yeah, you can test it exactly. For service-based businesses, you do lead form.
hmm
So lead gen form on Facebook, Instagram. That's going to be the easiest platform to start with.
yeah.
Uh, for product based, then it would be like conversion optimization
hmm
for the like product based services.
Gotcha. Understood, man. Well, that's pretty cool. So far, I mean, we've only been in the 30-minute plus range, and you've provided some amazing information and golden nuggets, for the viewers. So I appreciate and thank you for that. Do you have any other business plans that you have in mind, or are you sticking to what you're doing now and just like scaling it?
Yeah, right now, just scaling the ad side of it and then also the AI. So those are going to be the two main focuses. I don't want to do too many things at once.
Well, yeah.
Um, yeah, otherwise you just lose focus of exactly, which one you want to do. So um, those are like symbiotic. So like essentially anything I'm doing on the AI side is also going to help on the marketing side. Um, so they kind of flow together as opposed to doing like completely entire different business. Um, but essentially it'd be scaling those ones, um, trying to get into 6, 7 figures on the AI side.
Yeah.
And then that would, of course, translate into the marketing side as well.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I don't have any other questions so far, man, because you provide so much information in a short amount of time, and it was just like personally, I learned a lot in this conversation. So I hope the viewers as well had a chance to learn, take some notes, whether it's written down or mental. I recommend writing it down because you're probably going to forget most of the conversation. So definitely take notes. A lot of high value people that I know do that. Same thing with the people that I'm surrounding myself with Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Ryan Pineda, and so on and so forth. Take notes, write it down. It's always helped me as well. For all of this stuff, I unfortunately were not able to write down as we conversated, but it's here right now. But after we're done, I'm going to be jotting everything down that you provided, Zach, and I appreciate your time. But for the people that wants to follow you, Zach, where can they find you in social media?
Yeah, it's just Zac Tavenner. So if you just go to Instagram or just search my name on the internet, you could find it.
Awesome.
I'll be the first one up there.
Gotcha. Well, Zach, I am looking forward to seeing the growth of salesrobot.io. I actually signed up to be an affiliate, so if you're interested, reach out to him. I see tremendous value in how this will disrupt the market, and unfortunately, it might take away some VA jobs. But I mean, that's kind of where we're at. People need to adapt, learn AI, and go with the flow. But yeah, man, Zach, thanks so much, man. I am looking forward to working with you in the near future. Obviously, I'm going to be implementing Robot.io into my campaigns starting pretty much this week, man. So thank you for creating it and giving us the opportunity to make our lives easier as entrepreneurs and business owners. Other than that, Zach, do you have any parting words to our audience who are aspiring entrepreneurs or already business owners?
Yeah, I would just say, if you get anything from this, just try to learn AI and implementing it into your business, just because it'll help you get, miles ahead of your competition. So thanks, Jay, for your time and having me on here.
Thank you.
And hopefully everybody got some value.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Zach. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for spending the time with us here on this episode. If you found this valuable, I'd love for you to follow, like, and subscribe on my YouTube channel as well as Instagram. I'll have and post the link into the description for my page as well as Zach's. Other than that, thanks to everybody, and we'll see you again soon. See ya.